The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Death. Something the citizens of Shady Acres knows too well. Due to an unknown disease rapidly progressed by the city's expansion rate, and left with nothing else to do, the citizens take to the streets. They rush to the transportation center to take buses to the Chirp X Space Center. Large lines queue for the citizens' chance to escape the planet. The Chirp X Space Center, the last hope, is a place housing the space rocketing program. The city's survival, or even the planet's survival, relies on the Chirp X's Kerbal Space Program to teach us how to fly across the stars. With the help of SpaceX Kerbal Space Program, we will first learn how to fly a rocket. Next, we will learn how to fly in lower planet orbit before continuing to full planet orbit. After learning orbit travel, we only have one more thing to do: space travel. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Kerbal Space Program. We, at the last stream, ended exploding a little too close or too far away from a different landing site. Now, it's not going to be visible on the map going off of just the height, but also because we are in nighttime. But if you take a look at these lines all merging into this one point, there is another landing or launch pad over there, and you can actually get science from going to 3 different buildings. So we had accidentally crashed on our way there because we went down a hill that was too steep, and when we hit the bottom part, our plane couldn't take that much of a incline change. So the plane exploded. I walked over there, and I forget what happened after that. Something happened, we weren't able to get our science for it. So we decided that after the stream, I would play it a little bit later, off stream, and go back to that place to get the science, which I did. I also got the science from the desert. Unless that was something we did together, then we had the science from that. So, on the other hand, I did fly over to here to see what these lines were for. Because after I found out that this is aiming towards a place, I wanted to know what this was. Here I found out that there are different places around the globe. Everything kind of like points to it. Each one of these lines is coming from a satellite either around Mun or around Kerbin, and they all merge into different points on the globe. And as far as I know, and as long as it follows what this is, there are satellite dishes around the globe. Now, the only thing I didn't test is if we can get science from being at that satellite dish. I have no idea. We are going to try and get some science from one. Another thing that we're going to do is we are also going to, as the go live notification may have told you, we're going to go to the last 7 Kerbin biomes, and I should be able to point all 7 out on the light side of the planet. So, over here, I get this map the same way as the globe. Okay, this is the lake. So in this general area, it's hard to tell off the globe what color is the biome I'm talking about. But there is a Badlands biome in here. It looks like it's a majority of this lighter flat area. And then we also have the poles. So this flat area here is considered one pole. And then on the outskirts of it, we have 2 different biomes. There is this bumpier biome and then a smoother looking biome. Those are 2 different things. So that's 3. That's the 4th one. What was the 5th and 6th? Oh, the ocean. We can drive our plane into the water go out a distance. If you can tell that there's two different colored blues here, the lighter blue is the shore, the darker blue is what's just called water or ocean. I forget which it is. And those are two different binds we can get signs for. And then there's a seventh one. That's only... I click here. So we had ice caps. Oh, the different poles have different shelves. So whatever counts as an ice shelf down here would be considered the southern ice shelf, and then there's a northern ice shelf up here. The website doesn't say that there's a northern and southern ice cap. It just says ice caps. So I'm assuming that it's going to be the same biome, but we get signs for doing two different parts of the globe. And then there's tundra, which is probably the smoother looking biome, but that is in both areas. Where you went? What? Not sure what's going on there. So anyway, we are here, and what we are going to do is pretty much just drive into the ocean. I did test trying to take off from being in the water. Does not work well. As far as I know, I can only get up to 40 meters per second. Then I can't get faster than that, and I need 60 meters per second in order to take off with this plane. So we will not be able to take off. All I'm going to do, not full throttle. I just want a little bit of speed. We are going to roll off the runway. And then we are going to drive down the grass, because every time I tried going down the runway, when we get to the end, as you can see here, there is a ledge that we roll down, and further down the runway is closer to the water. So there's multiple ledges to roll down, and I pretty much was only able to get into the water once safely, and then every other time was just the tail would fall off and I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. That's also where we store all of our science. So I am going to just speed up time to get us all the way there. Whoa! We are not going to speed up time. That's never happened before. I guess we bumped so much that the time increased, made it think that the plane was going faster than it was. I don't know what else would have made us do that. Actually, I don't want to be that slow. Alright, that's probably enough speed to get down safely. We don't want to go too fast going down a ledge, because that will make us blow up, because we were going too fast. And what I'm trying to do is make the wheels hit the flatter surface at different times, so it's not as drastic. Alright, let's just speed up then. Do you know when we get closer to the water what speed I need to slow down, or what time I need to slow down, and what speed we need to get into the water safely? And what I remember is that we need to be within 50 meters per second as we pass this building. Like, less than is better, but as long as we're not too high up. Maybe it wasn't that building, maybe it was the VAB. Or was it further? No, it was right here. So what I just did was press 5 to cut off the engine. And we're just going to cruise down here. If we end up going too fast, we're just going to cruise down the coastline. It won't be too bad. I'm going to start slowing down now, keeping in mind that there are multiple ledges as we get closer to the water. So this would have been the first ledge. Then let's start turning this way so that if I am going too fast, we can stop. So, we just went down the second ledge. It's now going, steeper. There's another third ledge where the grass kind of turns into a sand color. And then the last ledge is the actual water itself. Because the water itself is completely flat. Now I just need to be within 10, I think, 10 meters per second. Now I am holding B to apply the brakes constantly. But I could be using the button at the top of the screen. Alright, that's slow enough that we can just cruise right in. And then we kind of just float here. Now, I want to press G for the landing gears. We don't need them anymore. And we can actually use the jet as a boat. The first thing I want to do is do all of our signs in the shore, because there are a few things we did not get before. So there's going to be a little bit of signs from different things. We never did a material stubby on the shore. And we apparently never did a crew report. Or if we did, we're getting 2 signs extra. And then we're going to do an EVA. Now, the only time we're going to do an EVA is when we're at very little velocity, because this plane will keep floating straight and floating away from Bob Kerman. So if I just let go, we can do a surface sample from the water. That is going to be for the shore. And then we can also do EVA. And then we just get back in. If I press B, we're going to press 3 to collect all the signs into here. Then we're going to do another EVA so that I can reset these. Huh, that's odd. I have to move a couple steps to be able to restore the signs, Junior. Okay, either way. Oh, but now it says that I could. Don't know what that's about. Now, if I zoom out enough, we might be able to see the line. I don't think it's showing up on OBS for you guys, but I can see that there is a coral shelf here in the water, about the halfway mark on the screen in blue. That is when the shores biome turns into the ocean biome. So this whole portion that's not dark green is considered shore, and so is this blue area. So we have to fly this plane far enough away from this portion. And then we're going to have to fly it back to land before we can take off. So I'm just going to do SAS to make sure we stay floating. Press 5. Now we can go quite a high speed and nothing bad will happen. The faster we go, the more downwards the plane likes to go. So it will try to go under the water, and then it will bob itself back up, and that usually causes a crash land. As you can see now, the wings just went under the water. So I have to keep holding up, and then we kind of just bob here, and we won't go faster than 40 meters per second no matter how much throttle I give us. It will just at some point just bob up and down even quicker. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit faster than 40 meters per second, but as you can see, our speed is not climbing anymore. I mean, it's slowing down. It may stay at 43 meters per second. If I let go of pulling up, we will gain more speed until we start going underwater. And we're also not too far away from the shelf that I was talking about. So we're just going to wait a little bit. I can't speed it up because we are in water and there's a lot more physics working on the plane than there was on land earlier when we bobbed and then exploded. But we're also not that far away from the ocean or water biome. On the wiki, it calls it water. It doesn't call it ocean. Are we getting closer to it? I'm not entirely sure if we have reached the point, but I see a dark color here underwater. So we're gonna go a little bit further. We should be fine here, but I want to keep going just in case. Alright. Right here is where we'll stop. Like I said before, we gotta make sure that we're almost at a complete stop. There is a Growlithe in chat. That is a fire-type dog from Generation. I'm pulling up to make these wings interact with the water to slow us down a little bit more. I can't use brakes. Brakes won't do anything to slow us down. So we'll just cruise at this point while I try and catch Growlithe. How fast are we going? 2.5 meters per second is probably still too slow. If I turn us, will we slow down quicker? Yes. Okay. Because we do have to turn around anyway to go back on land and then take off, because we are going to go north first. The northern pole should be closer to us than the southern. I think so. We could also go to the Badlands first, but that's quite a distance away. And once we're flying, we're able to speed up time. Anyway. So, that's first one. Everything here should be brand new science. So we have the material study in Science Junior. We have a crew report. We have an atmosphere pressure, temperature scan, and we have the mystery goo. And I was the only one that caught Growlithe. So now we're going to do an EVA. We're going to let go. We can now do another surface sample on the ocean. You scooped up a sample of the surface. It is a very humid sample. You hope the equipment was properly waterproofed. So we pretty much just grabbed water. Then we can also do an EVA. The EVA should say all the same thing. It's just the biome changes. So obviously it's going to be, you didn't need a spacesuit to get here. Go back in, press 3 to collect all the science into this box. And then we're going to do the EVA again. Can I changes? I can't. If I do one step down. No, it's like 2 or 3. But anyway, we'll reset that so that we can use it again. And now, let's head back to land. Now, I have seen people on YouTube actually make a boat. I've seen one guy make a submarine for a challenge. So I know that it's possible for us to make things that float in the water. I'm trying to put us on the 270 marker because that's west. And we just gotta cruise our way over there. We do have to slow down before we touch land. Hopefully I can slow down quick enough before we get there, and then maybe we just turn if we can't slow down fast enough. We're not getting that bobbing issue. You guys might be able to hear it. I think I'm far enough out that it might not be picked up by OBS. But we got the last 2 biomes on the list here. The new last biome is now the Badlands, which is on the other continent. Which, depending on how you think of continents, these are all one continent. Except for the islands, everything is touching. through the poles. But then again, Europe, Africa, and Asia are all 3 different continents that are touching, so I don't know. Alright, that's probably enough speed to get us there. Actually, it is not. I am surprised. I should probably put the landing gears out. Let's it up, because we are going to just drive up on land. We're not going to be taking off onto it. If I turn down the throttle, that might help us. Now, the water does put a lot of drag on the plane, so I have to find the sweet spot. I think we're going to start gaining speed now. It'll be as slow, but as you can see by our lights, we are getting closer. As this shrinks, we will be hitting land. I think it's funny that when we go under the water, it looks like we're floating in a black sea. I would go faster, but I want enough time for us to slow down, because I don't know how fast the plane can handle hitting the ground with the wheels. So if I just stop the engines now. I don't necessarily need to go up the hill right away. I just want to be able to touch the hill. And then we could turn the engines back on and cruise our way up it. We're about to hit land with the wheel. There we go, let's turn this back on. And then all I'm going to do is throttle up until we can actually make it up the hill. It's trying. We're now fully out of the water, so it's just the amount of strength we have to get up this hill. Let's give it a little bit more throttle. I'm going to try to get us back on the runway, and then we'll use the runway to take off going over the mountain. That should be more than enough speed. Cruise us down here. Actually, turn this down. Maybe turn the engines back on. We're definitely going to need more speed to get up this ramp part of the runway. I highly doubt that 13-inch dropping is going to be enough to get up the ledge. But nonetheless, I'm trying to line us up with it. You could probably turn this back on now. Turn it off. We're just trying to safely go up here. I think the tail might break off. If it does, we'll just rescue the plane and then relaunch so that we keep the science. Actually, all the science is in the box. Probably not a good idea to have our science on the tail, which easily breaks off. Turn on the engines to get up this ramp, because we are going to start going backwards. Should see that our speed slows down. Actually, if I brake... Nope, we're starting to slow down, so we're going to go forward soon. Here we go. Ah! How is that too steep? Oh, there's 2 ledges. I don't know if it shows very well because it doesn't really distinguish from the color here. There is a line right here where the mouse is. So this line to here is relatively small. of an incline. Right here is pretty much just a drop. The sides of this don't really have it. Alright, we're gonna have to do the water stuff again, but what I want to do is move the science box somewhere else. So I think to try and counteract the weight of the goo on this side, we'll put the box over here on the left. Let's revert to spaceplane hangar. Just so that we never lose the science again. You, right here. Now I don't want it inside the plane like that. Let's move you out a little bit. That's probably good enough. I'm going to save this. We're going to relaunch. I'm also going to look to the left of the plane to see if that water is closer. And before we do that, I actually want to speed up time to the point where we are in sunlight so I can actually see where we're looking on the globe. Alright, this should count close enough to sunlight. Okay, now you can definitely see ripples in the water of what I was talking about before with the shelf line. If I look at the map, can I tell the difference in where the ocean is? No, I cannot, because we are still a distance away. You know what? For this science, let's go to this airfield instead. Activate navigation? Really? Okay, didn't know that was a thing. I guess we never got to that point in the career mode. So if I were to click on this, we will now be taking off from that island, which should be relatively closer to the ocean. So we never did science over here. Look at that. There's more science. I'm going to assume that these different buildings are different biomes within this area. So I did the smallest amount of thrust that I could, just to get us rolling over here. Because I'm going to assume that this is something. Can't really tell what it is, but it kind of looks like a jail, a prison fence. But it's also very, very small. It looks like it's just stones. So if I get out here, first thing we're going to do is close all of this. I then need to get back in because we didn't put the ladder out. If we get in, that's the only time we can turn on the lights, and press 2 to open the ladder. We don't have to wait for the ladder to deploy completely. We can just climb it. And then what I want to do is come way over here. Let's touch the thing just in case. Except for sample. Okay, that just said the biome, so I don't think that was anything new. That's nothing new. And by new, I mean different than just being on the ground. So now let's get back in. We're going to leave the ladder deployed because I don't think it'll damage or get damaged. We go in, we press 3 to collect all the science. Actually, let's press 2 because now that I said that it might not get damaged, I'm worried it will. Did I just turn off the engine? It did. Okay, so now we're going to roll over to the building itself, because I am near 100% sure that is an actual biome we can get a surface sample and an EVA from. We can probably get the watchtower as well. I mean, the mini biomes on the website doesn't say that there are any biomes here. So we might not get anything, but we might. Can we put our planes in here? Oh, that's cool. It's an actual, like, plane hangar. We're gonna keep cruising down here. Because if I'm lucky, we can do this building and then just walk over to the tower. We are getting quite fast, so let's slow us down a little bit. Oh, this looks damaged. Okay, I'm going to apply the brakes using that. We're going to press 2, and then we're going to do an EVA. And we do have to wait for the ladder to fully deploy before we can walk down it, but it doesn't take that long. Is that a pod? That's definitely a pod with a rocket. Okay, that's not new. And that's not new. What is this way over here? It looks like an attempt to get into space that did not work. I think we might need to take a moment to explore the entire globe. This is a fuel thing with a booster and a pod. Apparently I can climb it. I am attempting to look around and see if there's a door. Huh. Can I do EVA and stuff from here? Airfield. Airfield. Okay, so it looks like there may not be any small biomes in this area. Which would explain why the wiki does not say that there is. But there was more on that other airfield that we landed, or that I landed with without everyone. There were 3 different areas over there. It was a satellite dish, the actual landing pad, and then the actual VAB building that's over there. And I thought that this might have the same situation, but kind of looks like this area fell apart. If Regis was here, he would be able to tell me the lore behind the game. That it somewhat of an inside joke between us and other streamers that he has all the lore of every game. Surface sample, same thing. And same thing. Normally I would take this a little bit of science, but when we go back to the plane and try to put it in the storage box is only going to see one thing labeled from airfield. So that amount of science that we would have gotten, like I think one of them was 9 science, it will just overwrite what's in here. We won't get double the science. It'll just rewrite what's in it. You can only do an area once per flight. So I think what I'll do off stream again is go around to every biome multiple times and make sure to get every science so you guys aren't seeing me go back and forth. Okay, now what would be the safest way to get off of here? Also, we are in nighttime already. Oh, that's because we relaunched, so I actually need to fast forward time again. And there we go, that's enough to actually see the water. So if I zoom out, what would be the safest way into the water? I think over here. We need to turn around. This whole time the plane has been attempting to use the fuel. But the ladders are open. Let's get that back up. And then we're gonna cruise. Actually, there's a ledge going everywhere on this. But we're also turning. I don't know how safely we're gonna be able to go down the lip here. This might be a sketchy thing. Can I walk up those stairs? Hold on a second. There's never been a building that I could climb up stairs. I want to know if those are actual stairs I can get on. And then we'll just go down this way instead. Because I don't think we got the science from recovering the last plane, since the science was on the fin, or the tail, and it broke off. So we're just going to slowly cruise on over here. It does look like I can get in there. I'm not sure if that's just going to be an invisible wall. Could very well be. I'm going to do the ladder now. And let's just stop the plane where it is. If I can get up here, I am going to be very happy. Because I know that these steps here aren't a thing. I can get up here. How many flights are there? I am way down here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the top. Okay, then all I'm going to do is count how many flights we're going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 'We're halfway there, literally. What am I stuck on? That was weird. That's 6. 7. The bug on the wall. 8. And here we go, we're about to be inside. This should be the 9th flight, unless I miscounted. Then this is actually the last step. Oh, this is cool. We're gonna have to tell Regus about this. He's the biggest advocator for this game, I think. We're on a stream. Now, what I want to know is what happens if we jump off here? Because I have a feeling that they do not take damage. They don't take damage. So the only damage that they could take is from an explosion, it seems. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. Back inside, press to take off the brakes. We'll cruise down this way. Do I have no throttle? Oh, I don't. I must have turned the throttle off a little bit. The smallest amount of speed there. I'm going to try to keep us within 3. If I just apply the brakes here, because this is quite a steep drop, and I don't know what's going to happen here. So I'm going to turn us and slow us down. We are sliding sideways, because this is a very steep area. I just want to have no explosion. The tail fin I'm concerned about. Oh, we made it. Okay. That's one dangerous area done. Now we just need to cruise on over to this area to get down, I think. So I'm going to speed us up a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean probably too much. I wonder what biomes this would have. Probably highlands, grasslands, and shore. Okay, that's too much. Because we're going to start going downhill, and that's going to be even more speed. And if I keep turning, that slows us down quite a bit. We can also get like a golf ball and go up this hill. Nope, that took our tail fin off. All right. We're gonna have to restart a flight to get out of the water, I think. That was full throttle, I didn't mean full throttle. Oh, we have the brake supply, that's why we're slowing down. Yeah, we're fine. We should still have all the science since the science is in the front of the plane now. We really only need the tail for flying. I'm trying to snake down here so that we don't go too fast into the water. And if the tail didn't break off earlier, it would have broken off there. This should be slow enough speed to get into the water safely. I don't have much turning force. The turning is a little bit difficult now. Get the landing gears up. And we're just going to go out quite a distance. If I look at the map, I can see how far we have to go. Let's actually go quite fast. I'm going to try to get to that color. I also have no noise. I can't hear the engines are on. But you guys can. All I hear is a rumble of wind. I also can't see where we need to go for the water. Because that drops off, we might be close to it already. I could just ever so slowly turn the boat at this point, because I can't take off even if it wanted to without the back tail fin. I could just turn it like that and start going forward. Oh, we're still floating that way. That's neat. Okay. Anyway. Number one. Get all that science again for being in the water. Excuse me. That came out very quickly. I wasn't able to pause the mic. Mute the mic, I mean. The surface sample. EVA. It appears as though we got the science from this already. I'm a little confused there. Oh, it was the water we didn't get to before, not the shores. That makes sense. Okay. Just to get a little bit of speed, I put on full throttle. Because, again, I don't know how far away out of this light blue I need to go. I think I just need to be over this underwater hill. Which can get us quite some speed. That should be enough. We are underwater. So yep, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Luckily, we have the science connected to us. We can just recover this. We should get all that science again. If not, I'm going to be very upset. Good, we did get the science. Alright, then what I'm going to do is, well, one, recover all of this stuff. And we are not going to fly off from there again. We're going to fly off from the normal place. Now, how far away from here do I have to be? Not too far going straight. That's actually the closest spot to it. But just like before, I'm going to do the same thing going to the left. And then we'll speed up more as we come back. Oh, I didn't turn on the engine. I was like, why are we not moving? That's good enough. Because we're going to speed up as we're going down this hill. Okay, let's do a little bit of full throttle to get down this runway quicker. And that's enough. Not really sure how to get that to stop flickering on the screen. Because I want to be able to see where we're going. Okay, we are going way too fast. I'm just going to apply the brakes forever until we slow down. We obviously have to turn to the right again, just like the last time. Actually, I want to know what happens if I press the landing gears. We explode. Good to know. I honestly did think that the landing gears would make us stop. This might be too fast going down here. Maybe not. Okay, so never take the landing gears off on land when moving, or else you explode, as though you were flying. That's pretty good. I'm going to slow this down because we are going way too fast for my liking. Even just for turning. Right, we're not doing too bad right now. I am doing small turns while we slow down. Now we should be at a slow enough speed to just aim straight for the water, and I can take off the brake. I will use the B button to brake from now on. Trying to get below 10, or at least close to it. That works. As you can see, the speed keeps going up and down. It's because I keep taking my hand off the B button. And now it should just be me holding brake until we get into the water. And then I put full throttle on and take up the landing gear. Alright, full throttle. Gears up. Hold up as well. Then all I have to do is get to this point. Oh, is that trying to take off? Hold on a second. We got up to 70 meters per second for a minute there. I've never seen me go faster than 30. I wonder what's different. It can't just be full throttle. I think maybe we're just not below the water as much as I was before. We aren't getting into the 60s anymore. I think we might actually be slowly going into the water more. Alright, we're getting pretty close. You can I can definitely see on OBS that you guys can see the line that I was talking about before. And if I look straight down, we're pretty close to where we want to be. Why is pulling left making us turn right? No, no, we're flipping. I turned the engines off. Seriously, why are we turning right? Alright, I am not entirely sure if this is far enough away to do our science. So we're going to test it out by press 1. Oh, this does count as curb and water. Okay. Then we're all good. EVA from here. I can just let go. Oh no. This is better than floating away from the plane. But I also can't get back into the plane. Also, Bob can't drown. F. F. There we go. That was a little stressful. Alright. Back in. Press 3 to collect everything. EVA again. Go down just a couple ticks. I can restore both of these and then get back in. And now, back to land again. And this time we know not to go straight up the end of the runway. Whoa! We hit pretty hard there. I think maybe full throttle is not what I want to be. I just lower us. Do we turn easier? It feels like I am. Alright, this should be good. I'm gonna do full throttle to get us closer, faster. We are bobbing quite violently. I am a little concerned with that. I think it's because we're getting close to the 60 meters per second where the plane's trying to fly, but then the tail fin goes under the water and it can't take off. We're starting to turn. And I don't want to... This should put us going straight for land. I don't think we're going to end up being too fast to go up the water. Or up the land, I mean. Give us a little bit of speed here. I'm not expecting for enough speed to go up the hill. Just enough to at least touch the ground. There we go. Oh, and it is enough speed to get up. Maybe not, we're slowing down. Alright. Start turning this way. Take our speed down to almost nothing, or throttle, I mean. Where is the runway? This way. Oh, I also did find out what that little black spot is. It's their the company that created this game. It's their logo. There's also one at the other launch site thing that we went to at the end of the episode on our last stream. So there are two of those. If I slow us down quite a bit. Can we make it up here, or is it just impossible to go back up? I think we have to go more left. Because I see that this slope cuts off right about here, where the cursor is. I'm not entirely sure, so we are going to attempt to creep up the side of it with our wing. If I just give us a little bit of speed. Our engine should be strong enough to push us. Enough to at least the wheel touches the ground, because right now I don't think it is. I just keep pulling us to the left. Trying not to put our tail fin on the ground, but it might end up being on the ground. This isn't working. Okay, let's roll back down. And then I'm going to try to push us away from the hill. It doesn't want us to. Oh, there we go. We're starting to slide now. As I'm pulling to the left. There's a slowpoke in chat. That's Gen 1. We try and catch that. We're starting to get a bit of speed. The slope's also coming down as we go further in, so if I just keep going back and forth, left to right. Our wheel is now, or it was, touching the ground. Now it is. There we go. Now the wing's not even touching the ground. Oh, that slope does stay for quite a bit. Can I climb up this now? Whoop. Yes, kind of. I think I just need more speed. For some reason we're going left. I don't know why we started going left. More throttle. There we go. Alright, now we're going to take off like normal. Full throttle. We're already at enough speed if I just carefully throttle up. And I caught Slowpoke. Alright, let's change this to 11. I may have to check my front door in a little bit. I think I just got another delivery. Thanks, Gino. Alright, and now what we're going to do is super fast speed. Because we need to get from right here all the way up here. And we are not heading the correct direction. We should be heading... Oh. Let's turn down speed while I try to turn. We should be heading this way. Not like that. There we go. We need to actually head north. Trying to pull us back down a little bit. That should be good enough, and we should be heading north now if I take a look at our line. We are not. That means our pole is slightly tilted. If I were to pull up and head this way, I'm a little concerned being we're far ahead up top of the mountain there. We should see our blue line rotating. We want it to go straight up and down. It is not, so I don't know which way we actually have to go. I am thoroughly confused. Because the direction of the plane icon doesn't change it. I think it takes a moment for the blue line to catch up to which direction we're actually flying. So I want those behind us. We want to head this direction. Not upside down. Also weird flying this without hearing the engine noise. Alright, is this the correct heading? Mountains behind us. A little bit more right, I guess. Guess it really wants us on the northern heading, which makes sense. North to the pole. But it just didn't seem like we were going the right way when I looked at the map. So now those mountains are behind us. 100% we are going north. Okay. Now we should be able to just fast forward now and just make sure to keep pulling up. Because we'll get to that max height of around 11 kilometers and then we'll just go bobbing up and down as we lose aerodynamic and then regain it. Oh, I have to remember to just lightly press the keys on my keyboard, or else we change very quickly. I'm letting go of pulling up every now and then so that we're not changing our height very quickly, or else we start losing our height very quickly. And then it speeds up how quickly we bob up and down. As you can see, we just dropped a whole kilometer. I think at this point we'll just keep pulling up. And then we'll let the game's nature take control of it. So, I think while we are here, I am going to let the game run once I try and get this as flat as I can. That's pretty good. We're going to turn on Spotify. I know right now I'm dropping. And let's go for classic rock. Where is that? This one. That's not the same thing. There we go. Save our plane from falling. How close are we? We're still quite a distance away. Do we need to go that way? Not really. We do have to go over that direction a little bit more. Alright, we're pretty close to our max height, so I'm just going to keep pulling up from now on. And for when we actually get this eventually on our YouTube channel, I'm also going to be either speeding this up as a time lapse or just cutting out the trip completely to the point where we are just at the place. Not entirely sure how I'm going to do that later on. Alright, we're getting up to about 11.5 kilometers. So I think we're slowing down our bobbing effect. We'll probably get down to 9.5 kilometers. Or we won't even make it to 9. That's good. Also curious to see how much fuel we use to get up here. So this is the next biome that we're crossing over. We've already done a mountain area, so we don't need to go to every mountain. It's all the same biome. We just get the same amount of science. I do want this open. Am I not pulling up anymore? No, I'm not. When I tab out, it means I don't have control over the game anymore. That makes sense. Alright, if I just hold us here for a second. We should follow this water, and then at some point we'll start seeing snow to our right. Or we could head over to the right and follow the water up. I think we might do that. So I'm gonna head this way instead. And if we did not fast forward our speed here, we would have been sitting here for 42 minutes just to get to this point. I also have no idea how far away we are from water. Should be going the right way. Another set of mountains on our left. Yeah. Just keep going straight. At some point we'll hit water. To be clear, when I said classic rock, I clicked on the wrong playlist, but I do like the music in this one, so in case anyone was expecting classic rock, I figured I should say that. I don't know what happened to my playlist that's used to be labeled classic rock. I might have renamed it. Alright, I see a couple ponds or lakes to the left. I don't know if that means we're getting close to water or not. Actually, that might be the water. Let's head over that way. Oh, we dropped in our height quite a bit. There we go. Now we're back up at our max height. Oh, we actually made it to 12 kilometers. Look at that. It's just a Scorpion chat if anyone's a Scorpion Pokemon. Wait, what is this game? You know what this game is. This is my first time playing, yeah. I've never played this game before. I have no idea what we're doing. Someone said I should press triangle for some weird lizard people, and I said no. How was Peak yesterday, Wellbred? Did you have a lot of fun with Taco? I didn't catch the ending because I ended up going to sleep before you guys ended. Alright, this island seems like a good point to take a look at how far we are. I want to say we're not too far, but at the same time, I don't know how to accurately judge how much time this is going to take for us to go through. And this looks like a relatively flat area. Let's get our height back. Not do a barrel roll, even though it's very easy to do a barrel roll with this plane. I tested it out the other day. We peaked, Willow attempted murder. You ate taco? It was good time all around. That's awesome. Oh, there's the snow. Okay, we're not too far away then. So the map from the globe look is actually closer than I expect. Okay. How do you eat someone in the game? Do they have to die and then you pick up their body? Is that how that works? I imagine you can't just like throw someone on the campfire first. They have to be like passed out or something. Okay, so this should be a different biome. This should be a different biome. And then there's a third one mixed in with this side. So we are going to start going down. And I'm actually going to slow down speed to normal time. So at this point, I'm going to try to keep us horizontal until we get closer. But I do want us to keep going down, so I don't know how horizontal I want to go. I think this is a good spot. We're still going down, but we're not, like, dropping pretty quickly. This looks flat, but also bumpy at the same time. This should be one of the ice caps. Alright, we are actually starting to climb a little bit, going off of our prograde vector. So I am going to turn us towards the biome over here, because we're going to have to head that way anyway afterwards, after doing the science in this biome. Let's turn a little bit more. That was probably a little too much. That's alright. We do have quite a bit of space to cover. And I wonder if you could go underneath this. Because this looks like one giant glacier. If we made a submarine that can actually go under the water, I wonder what would happen if we went underneath us, or at least tried. Alright, I'm gonna slow this down to 2/3 throttle. Just to see what kind of speed we get to, while also staying fast enough to stay flight. Halfway up the tropic, she hit me with a frisbee, knocked me off a tree. I fell, hit my head, bounced, fell another 20 feet, hit my head again, and landed on the poison vine. But you still beat them to the top, even after all that. That's because you are a pro at the game. I, at this point, believe that you are one of the programmers. You're too good at the game, and it concerns me sometimes. But in a good way. Alright, we're getting pretty low, so I'm going to pull the landing gears out and cut our throttle completely. We'll just glide a little bit closer. We already know how this lands. I'm gonna apply the brakes immediately after landing, or before landing, I mean. We are quite a distance away from the other biomes. I didn't realize how far away we were until just now. I also think we are losing speed quicker than we're losing height. So I don't know whether to pull up or not, because we're gonna slow down. Oh, no, now we're getting lower than our speed. We want to be slower than 40 meters per second at touchdown, or else we'll lose our wheels, I think. And we almost touched down. There's the back wheels and our front wheels. We are good. So we can actually do our main science now. Northern Ice Shelf. So what counts as the ice cap? Oh, it's the white part. Oh, I had the biomes backwards in my head. If I just click through all this. I thought this was the ice cap and this was the ice shelf. I have them backwards. This is the ice cap. Wait, what does it mean to be concerned in a good way? It's like when you're playing with someone who is too good at a game, it kind of makes you feel like you're horrible at the game, but at the same time, it's a good thing that you're concerned that you're bad at it because you know that they're just really good. I don't know how else to say it other than that way. You're so good at it, I feel horrible at it. But it's also like a proud feeling. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it other than how I just did. Alright, let's get out and do our EVA. Let's see what it takes for a surface sample. Nothing specific? Okay. EVA is going to be the same thing, just different name up top. That's never going to change, it seems. Let's head up, back up. We'll go back in, we'll take the ladder up, and then we will collect all the science and get back out. So if I press 2 and 3, all the science is now in the box. We need to do another EVA. Go down a little bit, and then restore everything. Get good, bro? I'll try. Alright, we are going to start the engines. Have the engines been on this whole time? They have been on this whole time. Sorry about that, chat. I forgot. You guys can still hear the engines. I can't hear the engines at all right now. All I hear is the ambient wind noise. I think it's because I tabbed out and then got back into it, and it cuts off the noise. I think Willow had this issue with Vintage Story. Now there is another secondary biome over here called Tundra. I have no idea what it looks like. I'm also going to cut the engine because we're getting quite fast. I can't see a difference in this that would be considered tundra. This all looks like ice cap, like all one biome. It also looks like there's a satellite dish here. What do you guys think? We go over to the satellite as well and see if we can get some surface sample science? I think it's worth doing that. We're not that far away from it. We'll do that as the end of this science. I also didn't realize how flat this area was. So now we're super speeding. I just paused the music from my headphone. Sorry about that, chat. That's the first sign the headphones had actually worked to pause something with the computer. How easily can I turn without flipping over? If I just tap the keys, it seems to move pretty evenly. I realize that this is a little bit closer of an area to get to. It is quite a steep incline, so I'm actually going to aim for there. I feel like we're going to Polar Express at this point. Just cruising down the ice. Get our speed back. We lost speed turning. And apparently we are 1 meter above ground. Oh, we are actually losing speed consistently. I meant to throttle up, not full throttle. I think at some point the plane will get enough lift just by having throttle on the ground that it will lift up on its own. I haven't tested it, but I know in previous planes that I've tried, it does do that. But I think that's also due to the angle that the wings are at. And I think we're close enough that I should start slowing down. The bug that was on the wall just flew away somewhere. Alright, we're doing a decent slowing down speed to get over here. We're also turning to the left a little bit. This seems relatively safe to climb up. Cut the brakes for a little bit. Turn them back on. Because I don't want to be going fast enough up this slightly steeper hill that our tail fin breaks off. But I do want to see how steep it is. Not too bad. Okay. Let's give us a little bit of throttle. We can actually climb up this. I'm going to take it slow because this is a weird looking hill. Welcome in, Glow. Glad to see you came back. And this, what we're on already, should be a different biome, but I'm not entirely sure what counts as the next biome. So we're going to go a little bit away. Ooh, that was a bit of a bump there. I think we'll go up this hill as well. I don't want to go too fast. If I open the picture here, I can't see where they change biomes on here. What planet are we on? We are on the main planet. We just got to the North Pole of the main planet, Kerbin. We've been just flying around this plane to get initial science from the different biomes, just to give us a little bit of science quickly. Ah, there goes our tail. We're not going to be able to fly again. Alright. now. Please don't be a steep drop. Not too bad of a drop here, okay. We can still drive this around as a car, but I don't think we can lift up without our tail fin. Although I haven't tried lifting up without the tail fin. Either way, this should be close enough or far enough in my opinion, all planes are quite hard to fly. Happens with rather realistic drag physics. We found out, using a YouTube video, that if you take a look at the wings, default-wise, they all do pitch, yaw, and roll. If you set each fin set to do one specific thing, like this one is on pitch, the elevons on this wing are on roll, the tail fin was on yaw. If you set them being separate things, you get a little bit more control. Like, and by a little bit, I mean you actually get a lot more control. If they're all focused on one thing, it's not good. So you pretty much want the elevons to tilt the plane only. The front or back wings, depending on where you place these, are just to lift up the plane and lower the plane. And the tail fin, I haven't really needed to use it in air, but it helps turn the plane quicker on land when you put it on yaw. Other than that, you pretty much just need to unlock the second tier plane stuff. The first tier plane stuff isn't very good at all to use. Like, we didn't fly a plane until we got the second wheels. Anyway, if I take a look at the map again, and I try to line this up with what the map over here looks like, we might be in tundra. The map is a little iffy compared to what we can see here. This might be tundra, over here might be the ice shelf, or the polar cap. I have no idea what the polar cap looks like. You're doing some quick missions for science. Can I give you a tip? Yeah, if I can speak. I am open to advice, but implying that I have to do something is when we get annoyed. You've been around enough, I know you're not going to imply stuff like that. Anyway, let's do science here. This does count as the ice cap. What color is ice cap? Ice cap is the white. So I really have no idea where the tundra is. Anyway, we'll do this, put the ladder out. We'll do an EVA for the ground science. I do have to wait for the ladder to go down all the way before we can climb down it. All you have to do are taxes and dying eventually? What does that mean? I don't want to be responsible for it. Dang it, every time I have to fix the headphones, it turns off the... Okay. We are not in career mode anymore. We actually left that because I wanted to get science a little easier without having to worry about the price of the planes and everything, and having to upgrade the buildings. You mean for science, all I need to do is taxes and dying eventually for science? If that's what you meant, yes, but I immediately thought you meant in the game. Okay. Let's get back in. Bring up the ladder. Put all the science in the box. Then we have to get back out again. So we can reset this. Nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. That, yeah, I do know that phrase. I also heard the phrase that the only things that are... How do I say it correctly? I'm trying to say it the way that I was explained it. In another wording, the only things that are expected are taxes and death. Like, everyone always has that. Guaranteed. Nothing else is guaranteed, I think is what the phrase was. Anyway. We need to find where the tundra is. Maybe the tundra isn't the white at all. You know, now that I look at it, this shape here, I'm going off the wiki picture if anyone wants to look at it, the wiki biomap. This little corner piece is part of the purple on their map, and also a little bit of the water is. So I think if we just get out of this white area, I think this is the tundra. Zooming in, I can actually see a slight, like ever so slightly different color tone here. It could be just a shadow from where the sun is, but I think this area is darker than over here. Also, the pole itself looks like it has rocket exhaust on it. One of the easiest ways to get science early is doing experiments on the KSP ground. The reason for that is there are like 10 biomes very close by. We did those already. Just going through it and doing the 7 experiments, saving them all, then moving on to the next part can get you a lot of science very fast. We did get we have 4 science items. We also have crew report, EVA, and surface sample. So I think that's the 7 you're talking about. Unless I'm missing one of them. I know there is another item that we can add on to this. So we have junior, goo, temperature, and pressure. There is another thing for seismograph stuff, like earthquakes. We have not unlocked that yet. But pretty much, dang it, every time I change that. Pretty much everything you just said for the main, I think it's actually 17 biomes in the original area, because you can get out and do crew report and service sample for the different minor buildings. We did all that, I think, on Monday or last Saturday. And we pretty much just went around the past 2 or 3 streams, going to different biomes. So we did all the science, including what we did so far in this episode, or this stream. We did the highlands, the mountains, grasslands. Deserts was the last stream. We did the shores and water for sure in this stream. We actually had the shores done from previous experiments, but we did water in this stream. And we just did the northern ice shelf and the ice cap for this area. And I'm guessing the ice cap is the same in the southern ice shelf. I'm guessing it's not named differently. You think I did good? Can add more items later, but that is already getting great stuff. It is, but we've gotten to the point where all the science that we need to unlock is 160 science points. And right now I'm trying to unlock one more science thing to allow us to do the second thing on our to-do list, the space station, so that we can use the next science thing to do science in space. And that science in space will actually take quite a long time because it's an orbital thing. And Glow says, give Kitty treats. Not all science is biome dependent. It's true. The stuff that I have right now is biome dependent for right now. Tori. Let me check. She's now behind the desk. I have to look underneath it to see if she's awake or not. Tori. I think she's either ignoring me, which is normal, or she's sleeping. The special treats today? Okay, I'll explain what the normal treats are first. They're the big box. So we have Temptations. Actually, if I go here, it might be easier. So up the top, it is both beef, beef and lobster in this, but then it's mixed with the greenies for dental health. So both boxes are the same 2 things mixed together. I just, separated them, put half and half in both. But the special treats that you're asking about are fancy feasts. And they look like little chocolates. That's chocolate. And I have 3 different flavors. If I go to the right camera. Those 3 different colors. I want to call the salmon an orange, but it's salmon color. So we have salmon, green, and pink. It's salmon, chicken, and beef for special treats. And she got 4 out of that one. Get 4 out of this one. She did not get 4 out of the chicken. So that's the next one. I try to give her different flavors each time I give her treats. Oh, this also didn't get all of it taken out. Okay, so the only one that that's just beef and chicken that I haven't done 4 sets out of. Good to know. Anyway, you don't have to get Tori on cane. Giving treats is more than okay. I will definitely give her treats. She'll eat them at some point because she wakes up and begs for treats no matter if she just ate or not. Looks like chocolates, but what are those? I don't know exactly what they are. They also feel like chocolate, but it's more of like a meat paste type feeling than an actual chocolate. I need to find those chocolate looking cat treats here in Germany to prank people. They are... I don't know if you can read everything on OBS. It's Purina Fancy Feast Savory Cravings. So just to help you out, I might as well type it in just to make sure. Fancy Feast Savory Cravings. There you go. Okay. Back to flying around. So, we did all the science here, right? Let me just make sure. I actually can't tell until we come back. Your choice when she is awake again. I will wait until later so that it does... Oh, I didn't give her the first treats. Dang it. Let's give her the first treats. I did open the box and then replaced it back. That's normal treats. I'll wait until she wakes up to give her the special treats so that they don't go stale in the way. She does that with the normal treats. After a while, she doesn't want them anymore. Move them back a little bit so you guys can actually see it in the camera. There's a little handful of them. Alright, which way do we need to go? We need to go left. Going to be a little difficult to... Oh, I'm not inside. It'll be a little difficult for us to change direction. We do have Purina over here, but I think those savory cravings are US only. We'll go by another name over here. It may be US only. It's probably not healthy for them. Crude protein, crude fat, crude fiber, moisture. The ingredients: liver flavor, beef fat preserved with mixed tocopherols. I don't know if I said that right. TOCO pherols. Partially hydrated vegetable oil, natural chicken flavor. So it's liver, chicken flavor, partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, and then fat preserved in something, some type of preservative. And then it says never to give more than 6 squares per day, and to break off 4 squares per 6 pounds of body fat daily. So really, Tori should only be getting 4. And I've been giving her more than 4 a day. I found out when I took Tori to the vet that she is only 5 pounds. I don't know the conversion to kilograms, so that's pretty small for a cat. And that's pretty much because she's old. When cats get older, they shrink. It's nothing to do with how much she's eating. It could be that her metabolism or thyroid type thing is overworking, because she eats 2 cans of food a day. I think that chocolate kind is a thing probably closer to pemmican. It might be. I'm not sure. I don't even know. I don't know what pemmican is. 2.5 kilograms? Does that seem small in kilograms? Is that music or someone knocking on my door? It's music. Okay. Oh, that's right. I do have to take a break to go check to see if there's a box delivered. I will be right back. We can take a restroom break. About 5 minutes. We shouldn't get through all the ads or all the all the clips. That's the word. Like 60% of what a cat should weigh. Yeah, it does seem very light. Okay, I'll be right back. Back in here. And let's take off the brakes. And we're just going to turn to the left. Now, I said before that it's a little bit harder to turn without the tail fin. But this actually seems quite easy to turn right now. That's alright. We're only here for one more biome. We just have to find that tundra biome. Let me go over here. And get the game back on. I might restart the game just so I can get the sounds back. Because this is a little confusing for me that I can't hear what's going on. I can hear explosions. Can't hear the engines right now. And I'd like to hear them so I can make sure that they're not too loud for you guys. That might be a little too much speed coming over this. Maybe not. I do see green. Let's see if we can glide up this and into it. We got a little bit of airtime. That was pretty cool. Oh, we're going a little too fast. This plane does start to spin on its own if it goes too fast on the ground. The only downside about it. Other than that, it is probably our best plane. Let's get our speed back. We shouldn't be too far away from the ground. From the green, I mean. It looks like just over that ridge. Whenever we get there. Okay, now we're starting to speed up. And there's Mun. We'll be doing a manned landing on that soon. We do have to make a new lander and a new rocket for it, though. Because I want to be able to bring our rover with us, and we're going to have to design that rover so that we can drive it around. It'll be like the plane, but not a plane at all. It won't be made for going in air. Okay, so this green area should be tundra. Should be. I have no idea if it is. Welcome back, first time chatter. This is science mode. We lost our tail fin. This used to be a plane. And right now we're just going to all the different biomes in Kerbin to get the science from them. From the initial science stuff. We're trying to get as much science as we can, as quickly as we can. So it also means that we're using very low-level stuff to get the science. So it may not be the most efficient way to get the science from different things. We could have waited later, come back for them. But this green area right here should be tundra, going off of the wikis. I'm just not entirely sure if this is right. I don't know what to look for. But if I go like this, you see, now I can't tell a difference on here. But I can see that this portion of green is 100% tundra. And the map pretty much cuts from here to in the water as tundra. I think this is tundra. Looks like you got enough nodes to do a MUN flyby for a bunch of science, judging by your parts used on that plane. We do. We have done a MUN flyby. We've done a Minmus landing with a satellite. We have a satellite network around Kerbin and also around Minmus. We did not put one around MUN because it's close enough. We probably would only want one around it just to be able to have constant communication connection. And we did this around Kerbin because I was having connection issues at one point. And it seems to have just gone away. Like it was a glitch that I didn't have connection at all at one point. I have no idea what went wrong with it. But anyway, let's see if this counts as tundra. It should be. It's hard to tell when they make a global map, a flat map as a rectangle. I can't tell how this curves. All I know is that the tundra touches the white. So I'm going to count this as tundra and hope. In career mode, I usually just repair contract probes and call it a day, to be honest. Yeah, we were in career mode, but since it's my first time playing at this point, we've played for a couple weeks now, but it is my first time being on the game this month. Well, no, that's August, last month. So I had a hard time. We first went into sandbox mode. That was my first ever time looking at Kerbal Space Program, and that was way too much for me. So the next stream we went into career mode, and then I was just having too much time spent on worrying about our company, you know, like the money and stuff for building the things, that I just wanted to switch to science mode, or to the... That was the science mode. We switched to... No, I had it right the first time. That was career mode where you have to worry about money and science. We then switched to science mode, and we're now further than we were in career mode. And I think that's down to the fact that we don't have to worry about how much a plane costs. We can just build it. Anyway, press 1. We are in tundra. What makes this tundra then? Because I imagine a tundra biome with lots of pine trees and snow everywhere. Sandbox is rough because it's too many parts. Career mode is a little rough until you learn how to do contracts well enough. That's true. Then it's easier than science mode. That's true. We were doing a lot of the contracts, but I didn't understand enough of the parts and how they work for us to really progress well enough. I agree too, Glow. That's exactly how I would put it. It used to be called the career mode. We have another streamer who's currently live right now, Riga's streaming, who is actually our most recent raider. He's playing a Mafia game right now, but he also used to play Kerbin, or KSP, when it first came out. Back when it only had sandbox mode and career mode, and career mode used to be, or sandbox mode used to be the career mode. No. Science mode used to be the career mode. It even says it in the loading screen, if you haven't played it in a while. So anyway, sorry for sample from Tundra, EVA from Tundra. Of course, I will come back after we are done streaming and get all the remaining science from this so you guys aren't waiting for me to fly back here again. I feel like that bug that's flying around in my room is in my hair. Alright, let's press 3 to collect all the science into our box. Press 2 to remove the landing gear. Not the landing gear, the ladder. We gotta get out so we can reset this stuff just in case we need it again. Career can be grindy. If you're not familiar with missions, once you know your stuff, it's a lot easier than science mode due to the admin strategies netting you a positive science of off of outsourced R&D and unpaid research admin strategies. That's true. We just didn't get to that point. So, my next question is for chat. This right here is most likely a satellite dish, which is why all of our network antennas are going to it. We're going to do a poll. It'll be a quick minute poll. And it is going to be, do we drive over? Because we can't fly, so it's going to be a slow drive over there. I can glide over to it, but I don't think this would be very easily handled in air. So it's up to you guys. Do we drive over it, or do we just ignore it? If you guys say no, we just go back to, we'll just recover our vessel. And then we will either go to, which is in the dark side of the moon now, the Badlands, or we go south to the southern ice shelf, which is this flat area. That should be the only 2 biomes left that we haven't done before. Yeah, that's the only 2 biomes left. Because the ice caps are on both the north and south, so we could probably do the ice caps as well, just to make sure that if it does end up being 2 different things, like we can get 2 sets of signs for ice cap. Maybe we do that as well in the southern area. And 2 people said no. Okay, so we are not going to go over there. I just assumed that maybe we could get like a surface sample or an EVA from it. So, anyway, we go back to here. Everything is inside. Let's see how much science we get. We definitely have enough science to unlock the space center, space station links. So definitely going to unlock that, because I know we were close to 160 points before we went out. We are now almost to having enough for the last science that I wanted to get for this. If I go into game info, I now have the numbers pulled up of what science we're going to unlock. So right down here should be the 11th science going from top to bottom. I wanted 10 and number 4. I think it's 10 that gives us... No, that 10 is the upgraded command modules. It also gives us a larger service base, so we could make a larger ship. It also gives us the lander can. There's a Magnezone in chat. 4 is for the space center, because it gives us the first docking ports. I think there's better docking ports later on. I'm not sure because I haven't looked at the entire tree. What is this? Oh, it's narrow probes. Okay. I was just curious to see about that. There's the Hex probe, which I was trying to use before. And slightly better antennas. Better batteries over here. Sophie, welcome in! And thank you for subscribing for a 5th month in a row. Or 5th month. I don't know if there's a difference between the 2 of them, but anyway, thank you. I don't think there are better docking ports. I think the other docking port... I think there are other docking ports. Okay. More options, not better options. And then this is the smaller fuel and propulsion things to help our boosters go away. And Sophie, thank you for gifting a sub. So, apparently, So, Sophie, I thought I should tell you this because we talked about it in your stream. I have Sophie, another gifted sub. Anyway, before Sophie gets another sub with her birthday money, and another sub. Yep, I knew it was coming. I'm gonna assume you're doing 10. For those that don't know, Sophie did a stream, I think 2 days ago at this point, a 12-hour stream for their birthday. We had a very fun time over there. If there is ever anyone to give the largest shout out, it's definitely Sophie. So I know there was already an automated shout out, but please go follow Sophie if you haven't already. I would say that they specialize in Sims 4 and other calming games. And occasionally, we all get together and do community games like Repo and Goose Goose Duck, which was a while ago, but still. They are the reason why I thought about doing the community games with our 12-hour stream, which Sophie, what I was trying to get to. We talked about this on Sophie's channel, and we talked about it at the beginning of this stream. I have fully decided to move our 12-hour stream to being an hour early. So it was supposed to be on the 16th, which is exactly 14 days from now. It has now been moved to the 9th, which is next Saturday. Or this Saturday, since today is Saturday, you know. Whatever, either way. Because I am very impatient, and I have a Lego Optimus Prime just sitting here looking at me, ready to be built. And it's taken every ounce of energy for me not to build it off stream. And it is for the stream specifically. So we're doing the stream a week early on purpose, and also to give more people a chance to join in. So since we talked about it on your stream, I figured I might as well tell you while you're here, just in case you can join in next Saturday. Now that I have your emotes, I need your help. What is your standard hello message for Willow? My standard message for Willow is my walk-on. So it's not going to work on my stream, but if I were to get her emote, where is it? Why don't I see her walk-on? Oh, there it is. Every time I say hello in her chat, I just go like this with the walk-on and then the rainbow burger. The one that says Whopper Wednesday is the emote name. That's how I say hello in her chat, because it plays the song. But I don't know how else to do it. Oh, there goes the music. I hit the microphone, the headphone. We are going to close Spotify because we are back here now. Anyway, you said show us the box, so let me go get it. So alongside having this Lego Optimus Prime, I also have been thinking about doing model cars on stream, and as part of that stream. Is it just on my side, or is the stream down? I think it's just you. Okay. Just a little bit of a buffer there. Anyway. So I have right here in my hands. First, the Lego Optimus Prime. So we're going to be building this on stream for a 12-hour stream next Saturday. It also does transform. So somehow this will bend. Oh, it's actually on the back. I flipped it over. It shows you the 3 different stages. You know, it's standing, mid-transform, and then fully transform. I thought this type of Lego thing would have to be, you know, you put this together, and then if you want it like this, you have to take it apart and rearrange it into that. But no, it actually transforms. And I am excited for this, which is why I moved the stream a week early. But then I also have model cars. I used to build a lot of model cars when I was in high school. And I do still have a large amount of them. I think I have like 9 or 10. But that led me to getting a new trailer. We're going to be making an Optimus Prime on stream at some point. I have 5 Transformers set aside. I have 5 different model car types. We have Optimus Prime, which, like in this box, is a... Oh, headphone fell out. Flat nose truck, so there's no engine outside, and then it has a trailer. I also have a Bumblebee, which is a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, because we're doing the original cartoon from the 80s. I have a red van that's going to be Ironhide. I have a green Jeep for Hound. I think it's the right name. And we also have a blue Corvette that is going to be for the Transformer tracks. Try to get some people together for Goose Goose Duck in 1.5 hours. Up for it. I would be up for it, yeah. What's 1.5? 1.5 hours is actually when we would raid out. That would be around the 4-hour mark, I think. So I would be down for it. I haven't played it in a couple weeks because Willow and Wellbred have been streaming together. Anyway, we have been talking long enough that we should get the next science. I think we should go for the docking port because we have the next science thing unlocked. That's also how we got the ladder for the plane. And we will unlock this now. We won't build with it just yet. Actually, we might get enough science to unlock the next thing as well. With going to the last 2 biomes. So which way do I have to take off to get to this area? I'm not entirely sure how to get to the Badlands. Anyway, we have the new unlocks. We'll go back into here. This is our plane. Everything's built back on. All we're going to do is launch right away. You never played the game yet again? Well, the best way to describe it is Among Us. And honestly, I think it's a lot more fun. There was more character to it, I want to say. You can also press... I'm going to keep what I was about to say as a surprise for you later on. Anyway, we need to go that way, not this way. I need to know which way would that be considered. Oh, that is not east. Which way would be counted as east? We need to go into the dark side. Down here, I think. So is it kind of like Among Us, but more roles equal more fun, right? You can play games with roles added in, which, yes, is more fun. But you can also play the default portion, which is pretty much just Among Us. And then the maps themselves have more characteristics to them. There's one map that's a city that has a school, and you can spawn a bus that drives around on the road, and if anyone is standing on the road, you get run over and you get killed. But it doesn't show up as somebody murdered you. It shows up as a nature kill. It also has proximity chat included. That's true. I forgot about that, Sophie. So, when I was playing with Willow recently, someone in that map called what they thought was a truck, because the bus sounds like a truck. But I had just walked out of the school onto the road, and all I see is a yellow bus come and run me over, which is ironic, because I am a school bus driver. So we all had a good laugh about that, because nobody knew how I died. I got killed by the bus, and then whoever was the imposter killed someone, and they only knew about that one kill. They didn't know that I died. They're like, wait a minute, how did he die? Anyway, we are going to fast forward until we get the spot that we are going to in the sun. Oh, so we have to get it way over here. Okay. Makes sense. Again, I don't know what this biome necessarily looks like. It doesn't stand out very well. Coded from another dimension killed coded from this dimension. That's true. Um, what we're looking for is going to be showing up soon. It's in this general area. We're looking for something that looks like a lake with a river coming from it. And that is pretty much in the middle of the biome we're going for. That's not the lake. It's down here. This is the lake here with the little river. So if we just keep going, I want the area we're going to in sunlight. I don't need us to be in sunlight. Actually, it's pretty much on the other side of the globe. Okay, if we keep going, we should see another lake right about here. And once that's in the sunlight, we should be able to see the entire biome of Badlands. That is good enough. So if we take a look at this, going off of a map I have on the other screen, Badlands is pretty much this yellow area going all around this spot. Around this little lake here, up to here. It goes around this lake, so this yellow area on this side is Badlands. We're going to land over here. That's going to be one entire flight. And then we're going to do a second flight down here to the southern ice shelf. And then we're also going to see if we do an ice cap on the southern area. That counts as a secondary science. Because there's an ice cap on both the north and south pole. But the biome list counts it as ice caps, plural. So I don't know if they're separated as two different biomes that we can get two different sciences from, or if north and south are considered one biome. The only thing I do know is that the ice shelf is not the same biome. This is definitely a different biome. Anyway, we need to go northeast. So if our launch pad is going straight down this way towards... No, wait, it's not going straight down that way. Because the island is to our right. So we do want to go straight out. Is that right? I guess we do. We're just going to have a lot of water to cover before we see any land. Do you have to get an account for Goose Goose Duck, or did I install the wrong game? You do have to make an account through their website by giving them your email only. That's it. I haven't done it in a long time. It's been over a year since I set up the account, but I think that's what you have to do. I know Kebby did not want to play it because he does not want to give his email to the website. But they haven't done anything with it, with mine at least. I haven't gotten any emails from their company trying to give me like promotional offers or anything. I haven't gotten any spam emails after I did it. Anyway, let's get going. We are going to get Spotify opened up again because we're going to have a flight where nothing's happening. We're not going to have any music since from now on, so I'm going to skip Life Like a Player. Can't speak. Like a Prayer. We're just going to go to the next one. Oh, Queen right off the bat. Look at that. Can I move the plane a little bit? No, I cannot. Let's start the engines a little bit so I can turn this. I have the brakes on. That's why we're not moving. That makes sense. Okay, full throttle from here. And I'm going to zoom out so you guys aren't too loud. Right, can we take off now? There we go. You guys are gonna have to tell me if the game is louder than the music. But all we're gonna do is just go straight. It's gonna be very boring. If I zoom out, we have a lake there. Where is that lake on this map? It is actually quite far away from where we're going. So we should see past the lake at some point. There's going to be some land that we cross over. After that land, we will actually go to the continent we're trying to get to. In the meantime, I have no idea what to talk about. Because we have a large area to cover. It's hard for me to tell, but there is land right here, I think. Actually, there's not land right there. I could definitely see the land I was talking about that we're going to cross over, which is right here. But then there's a large lake here, or a large ocean. So the land I was talking about is way down here with this lake. Anyway. We might as well stay like this so that we can see it as though we're in the plane. And I think while we're waiting, I'm going to have a couple pieces of chocolate. So I have next to me, hello, little crunch bars. I'm going to have a small snack. So if anyone wants to get up and get a snack, we're pretty much going to be just sitting here waiting. Our plane is 300 meters per second fast as our max, which is quite fast compared to our first plane, but it's not like the fast thing. We can make a rocket that goes around the planet faster, but I also want to be able to land it. Are you awake now, Tori? I see her ears. What are you doing? She's behind the desk now, so I have to look underneath it. What are you doing, pretty girl? Let's see if she wants the treats that we got her early in the stream. You want these? I don't know how close I am to you guys. I know she was able to see it in my hand, but I don't know if that's enough for her to want to come up and get it. At some point, she will climb over this right here. There's nothing where my hand is. I left that open so Tori can climb over from her food, which is now behind the desk. Anyway. We are already quite a distance away from the island. I think we're actually making time quicker. We are going to burn through most of our fuel, or about half of our fuel, because it's about halfway across the globe. Once we actually get to the main land that we're aiming for, we're going to have a lot more landmarks to work off of, so we'll be able to tell how close we are. Before we get to the largest area of the Badlands that'll be the easiest to land in, we're going to cross over two large mountain ranges. So that'll be fun. Come here, Tori. Come on. Come on. She knows I'm talking to her. Because I can see her tail moving. She's like a quiet dog. She doesn't want you to know that she knows. Here she comes, I think. Yep, she's coming. What snack did you get yourself? A little crunch bar. That's backwards. If I do it this way, you should be able to read it. I forgot that I mirrored this camera, so that you're actually seeing my left hand on the left. She's getting some water. Is there a way for me to see how far we are? Wait a second. I can see the islands here. Okay, we're getting closer. This is the land that we're gonna cross over. I actually don't think that we are gonna go over land. We might be just below it. Who redeemed the treats over there? I don't remember. Oh, it was Glow. Okay. So Glow, my question for you now. Since you did redeem both treats, do you want me to give her the chocolate-like treats now? Or would you rather her eat the regular treats first? Pretty girl. Come here. Yep. She might either be going back to lay down or going to use the restroom. Either way, she's on her bed, which is my old computer chair. What are you doing? Let me try and give her one treat. Do you want this? I know I'm really close to you guys. Feels weird, doesn't it? I just dropped that. I threw one to her. I don't know if she'll eat it or not. How high are we right now? We're actually doing pretty good. You know what I could have been doing this whole time? We could have had this sped up. We didn't have this on the fastest speed this whole time. And then I'm just making sure we're not going below the yellow circle on the bottom ball. We should see that the ball and ourselves moves up and down because we're going below and above the point where our wings work. Anyway, we're going to soon be within the sunlight. By the time we get to the Badlands, they might be in the dark. Also, I want to know why this crater isn't a biome. On the moon, every crater is a biome. I want to know why they didn't do that for this. Oh, we are going over the land here. Okay. I'd take a look here. We can actually see the land right there. And I have to be zoomed out quite far before you guys can not hear it. Anyway, I like this way to look at it because it's kind of like you're in the plane and seeing your trajectory. Brings back memories from when I visited Germany back in 2016. Back when I was forced to sit in the middle of the plane even though I had a window seat. I hated those people we came with. Alright, we should be getting pretty close to that land. Is this a favorite, Sophie? Should I make a channel redeem that is quite expensive, but requires me to sing songs? Obviously, it would have to be a song that I know. Like, I can do this one. Regus! Welcome in! You won a competition of this song once before, Sophie? Welcome in, Regus. Hold on, let me just, now Sophie's here twice. Let me just copy and paste this, raid message. To raid myself. So, before this music stops, welcome in, Raiders. My name is CodedMan9000. If you don't know me, we play different colony builder games on this channel. Right now, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, we play a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Right now, we're in the third chapter, so we've been playing this for quite a while. And this chapter is all about space travel. So we're playing Kerbal Space Program as an in-between between City Skylines 2 and our future space-related games. And right now, we are going around the entire base globe, where we're going to every different biome and getting science from each place. Now, right now, we are in a plane going to what's considered the Badlands, which, if we go into here, and we look out here, we're going to pretty much just yellowish color on the globe. We're going to do some science. Then we're going to go to the South Pole and do science down there. So, Raiders, if you've been with Regus for a while, make sure to get up and stretch, get something to drink, get something to eat. Feel free to lurk. Regus, make sure to get up and take some time by yourself. You've been streaming for about 4 hours now. And that is the music, so I think that music has been edited to the perfect length for me to say everything. You're not my mom. Well, sorry for caring about you. Jeez. Alright. Did anyone else say anything in chat other than the raid message? And Regus bullying me? No. Okay. I didn't miss anything good. Also, for those who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, we have a new setup. So in our last stream on Wednesday, I did have the computer facing the opposite direction. So the computer was against this wall. Now it's facing that wall because I realized, why am I turning the computer that way? Taking all of this stuff down, putting it on this wall when it's already on this wall. Just move the computer around. So we moved everything against it. You like the things against the wall? There is actually more stuff. There's 2 shelves. If I go up, a little bit more up there. There's Funko Pops up there. I have Charmander, Umbreon, and Squirtle. And then everything in the hexagon shelves is Bulbasaur only. Everything up here is Bulbasaur. I have like 3 Lego things. I have a 3D printed green Bulbasaur that one of my kids on my school bus back in 2021 gave me, which is the reason why I got into 3D printing, was because he gave me that. And then there's different random Pokemon stuff just thrown up there. And then the bottom shelf is all legendary Pokemon. If I duck down, we have Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. That's everything from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Then we have the 2 different Giratina looks. And then Dialga, because Dialga is my favorite. I actually have a tattoo on my right arm that has Dialga and Rayquaza. So it's this green dragon, if you can make it out, and this blue dinosaur. They're both on my right arm. I'll get back into the game because I can't see it right now. We are getting pretty close to the first landmass. Formal request for a tattoo pic. I can actually show you them just on stream. Because we have time. This is going to take us quite a long time to get to where we're trying to get to. With veins if possible. I don't know if I can do with veins. So if I go in the cat cam, if I get my arm the right way, I don't think I can do it in that camera. Gonna get banned. So I'm gonna have to do it in this camera. If I just kneel on my chair so we're at the correct height. So on here, I have what's called the luxury ball, the black ball here. It's my favorite kind out of all the Pokemon balls. And then we have the green dragon here, and then the blue dinosaur on top. And then this is the Deadpool tattoo that I got in 2016 when I visited Germany for the first and last time that I've been there. So it wasn't my plan to get a tattoo. That was actually my first tattoo. My first one in Germany. And we went there to visit a friend who was stationed in the US Army in Germany. And him and his sister went to go get tattoos. That was premeditated. I went and they pretty much peer pressured me into getting that. And I don't enjoy that one tattoo based on why I got it. Also, I don't know why the music stopped. I just realized I'd stop. But I also have this tattoo, which was my second one. So it's a Game Boy in the center, Pokeball in the background, Bulbasaur in the center of the Game Boy, like it's being played. That is a gym badge from the first gym in the original games. So that's this one, and the two Pokemon ones I got in my hometown. Two different places. The place that did my right arm, obviously, I drew both the Pokemon tattoos. That's why they're not very detailed or very good looking. Um, but the person that did the right arm cost me the same amount for this one, and this is more detailed. So I definitely got ripped off with this one. Also, the guy was very heavy-handed and pushed so hard in my arm with the tattoo gun that I could feel the needle like hitting my bone. Like my bone vibrate. I don't know how to explain a bone vibrating inside your arm, but that's the best thing. It wasn't a tingling sensation. It was my bone. I could feel things moving around my bone. And it the outline never healed correctly, so I can feel every line. With tattoos, you're not supposed to feel the lines. That's supposed to be a sign of bad healing. But since he pushed down so hard, there was no avoiding that. These two, I can't even feel the Pokemon one. I can feel the Deadpool one a little bit because my first tattoo, I didn't know how to have it correctly heal in the first place. Anyway, he didn't tattoo your skin, he tattooed your muscles. It definitely, that's what it had to have been at that point. Um, oh, I know what you mean. You're not good. That's true. It didn't necessarily hurt when it was happening because when I was that far into the tattoo session, my arm was going to numb to the pain sensation of it. So it didn't really hurt. It just set off alarms. Like, it shouldn't feel this way. Anyway, catching. I just now noticed that Sophie said bark bark. Need a new Tech 2 cam. I actually still have the old camera that I used to have for myself that was better quality or worse quality. I got this camera again. So these two cameras are the same camera. Only this one is a newer model. The old camera that has the tripod, I still have it, so we're going to use that at some point for something else. I think I'm going to save it for when we do the Lego. So I can have this camera looking at me. I can have one camera looking straight down at the table. And then we still have the cat camera. Only the one looking straight down is going to be a worse quality camera. So we'll have that at some point. Don't make me get the hose. I'm still behind on chat. You're safe from human trafficking. I don't know what I was talking about when you said that. Where did you go to here? I honestly I don't remember where. My mom also doesn't remember. All I remember is that when we were there, we did travel around and see different castles. I love castles. Um, but what I remember is that we were in a well built up town. I don't want to call it a city, but it also had an old cathedral in it, so it could have been considered a city with population size. But it had a really big, well known mall. And on our way home in 2016, we found out that the mall had either a fire or a bomb blow up in the mall. And we had just gone to that mall the day before. I don't know if that helps find out, like if you search malls 2016 fire or something. I don't know. I don't remember where it was. I wasn't paying attention to where it was. I had jet lag for most of the trip, so I was. Uh-oh, we're going down. I wasn't really focused on where we were at the time for a little bit. Let's turn the speed down. I can fix. And then I will catch up on chat because the last thing that I'm seeing on stream is Riga saying going to Germany was so traumatic he will never go back. And honestly, I think Sophie being there outweighs the trauma. So I'm definitely going back. I don't know when. I keep saying that I should have enough money saved for a summer trip. But at this point, I don't know. I hope to go back this year. But who knows? Okay, right now I should be fine. It will change the angle of the plane to keep us high up at some point. Very handsome guy, so quite understandable. Thank you, Regis. I mean, thank you, Glow, who was responding to Regis. Anyway, then you guys are laughing about the pain and the sensation. Did you just copy and paste the schedule, Regis? Why does it say that that message came from Regis? Oh, it's me. Because I have Firebot messaging as me, it counted me as rating, but also the bot. And I see something to my right was flagged because it has the word ISIS in it. I'll look at that in a minute. Beat cam, please? No, Glow. I think that is giving too much power to Sophie. I need to move the plane up, and for some reason I can't pull this up. Give me just a moment here. A fourth camera would really add to the stream. Regis, if I ever get a fourth camera, it's going to be to replace this with an actual camera instead of a webcam. Alright, we're back above that. Castles, that narrows it down. Yeah, I know. That's why I couldn't tell. And allow message. I am now completely caught up. Why didn't it allow the message? Okay, I guess Sophie denied it, and then I went to... Oh, it was Glow! But... Gotcha. And Sophie denied it, so to help. I get it now. And since I can read it, I now understand why it was denied. And I'm okay with it. Alright, so we are on top of the mainland. And we're actually a lot north compared to where we need to be. Just need to get the right web link open. So if we take a look at this map, the Badlands start here. They are sprinkled about around the area, but we're going to go to a larger, flatter area. So we need to head towards this mountain, pretty much following the river. Alright, let's find the river. The river is to the right. Oh, we also have the landing gear. Whoa, I went all the way upside down. Not what I wanted to do. We also have had the landing gears open this whole time. That would probably be slowing us down. So, we're going to get over to this river. We're going to follow down for a little bit. I could probably just go straight from here. Or at least flat. And then we'll get our speed back up. We are also focusing on our height due to sea level. We should be doing height due to land. We are technically still climbing up in our height, but the ground is also changing in level. That's why the thing's not going consistently up. Let's move on to swooning over Coded's looks. Thanks, Glow. Oh, there goes the music. I'll let this keep going. You know, Sophie, before I got distracted by the raid, I was gonna say that since you won a competition, you should sing for us. I think that I should go into your stream and donate an outrageous amount of bits, and then you have to sing Build Me Up Buttercup. Specifically. No dancing? Not singing? What do you mean? I don't know, Sophie. Oh, you were saying you won a dance competition to this, not a singing competition. Oh. Well, Sophie, I think that you should still do it. Alright. We need to follow the river this way now. And then when it ends, that's the mountain range that we have to go over before we land. It doesn't really go in a straight line. It's going to curve a little bit more this way. Then why do you have a small town singer redeemed? That's true, Regus. Regus has a good point. Because it's an analogy. Okay, I do think we need to go a little bit more to the left. Glow, do you remember how to get the camera focused on just being behind the plane? I know there's a key somewhere that changes the camera angle, but I don't know how to keep it centered behind the plane. And I turned it off. There's an Aquaman in chat if anyone wants a water spider. Sophie. V? Change camera view? Alright. Now if I change the plane, do we stay behind it? No, we're not really turning with it. But that is the correct button, so I just have to find the right one. What I'm trying to do is get the camera to follow the plane as we're turning, so that I don't have to keep dragging the camera. That's orbital. That's definitely not what we want. Maybe Chase does it? Chase does it. Oh. I flipped over a little too much there. Still a little too much. There we go. Now we just... No. Everything's going too fast. Just pull up. You can do it, Bob, I swear. Okay. We should be fine here. Now, the only thing I don't like is the point the camera's looking at. In high school, they called me anal girl? What? I am concerned. Oh, the other kind of anal. I forget what the whole word is for that. Anal retentive. I think that's what the full word is. It's from 500 Days of Summer? The phrase? I mean, my family has said it just as a joke for the whole word of anal retentive, which is pretty much on the lines of OCD. But not really. Like, well, come in, Wolfie. How long have you been here? Did you come in with the raid? I don't remember how many people came with the raid. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the area. We just need to get over these mountains. Okay. This seems like a large area for mountains, but we're pretty close to where we need to go. Yeah, I read the raid message without the emotes. Why does that look like one of my friends as the emote? Who made that emote? Okay, the shrunken emote of Sarah looks like a friend of mine from high school. I highly doubt they're the same person. Wolfie has always been here since before the stream started. Oh, he's not me, Regus. Way to tell people I'm homeless? There was actually apparently some Badlands right behind us at the river. I don't see this lake at all on the map that they have. So I think the Badlands might be this area. It's really close to the mountain range, according to their map. Anyway. We still heading in the right direction? Yeah, we're just getting to the last portion of mountains. We could probably go this way. That would be quicker getting into the Badlands, so let's go to the left. The slightly greener area is where we're going to go for. Well, that was too much turn. There we go, that's about as much as I wanted. I'm just trying to do some work which requires all the little brain power. Regus was talking to me too much, so I'm behind. Oh no. I say oh no, but on the other hand, I felt that. Alright, do we just land here? It will probably happen again. I agree. Alright, so we are pretty close to the biome. I don't know where the biome lines are between the two. I know right now we are still over the mountain range, or this is highlands. So I think maybe we aim for this little hill right here? Or further out this way. Either way, we are very high up, so we should probably start aiming down. So I think we're just going to aim with the plane and land wherever it goes. And we should be seeing that as we're going down further, our atmosphere is getting higher. So we should get the sound barrier wind things, which we do now. And I'm going to put the landing gears out when we get below a kilometer. This is probably good enough to cut the engines. So we slow down quite a bit. Oh, now I can see that the ground is a lot darker than just grass. Alright, let's put the landing gears out. Let's try to flatten the plane a little bit. I'm going to pull up because we need to lose quite a bit of speed. Let's make us mostly horizontal, but not completely. And then as we get closer to our height being the same as our speed, I'll start killing our speed. Because as far as I know, we do need to stay below 40 meters per second on point of touchdown. Alright, so now is about when we should start killing our speed. And all we have to do to kill our speed is to keep pulling up occasionally. Alright, we're getting relatively close to the ground, but that's because the ground is going up now, I think. And there we go, touchdown. Brakes. We can also turn to cut our speed quicker. Oh, we lost a wing. I cut too sharp, but that's okay. We're not flying this again back anywhere else. We just want to be able to do the Badlands. So if I press 1, we are in the Badlands, so we're going to get all the signs from here. And then I can press 2 to extend the ladder, and let's get out. We have to wait for the ladder to extend all the way before we can get down. There we go. Surface sample. The grass here is definitely not as green as other places, but the knowledge that you've been at a place called the Badlands makes you feel cool. What's the EVA say? The EVA says the same thing everywhere on Kerbin. It's just that the biome changes, it seems. So, let's go back up. We'll go back in. Press 2. I'm also going to press 3 to collect all the science into the box. And then all we're going to do is recover the vessel. About 29.5 science just from going to one biome. So we're going to get about 60 from going to the South Pole. Hopefully 60. If not, we're going to get about the same amount. Because I still don't know if ice caps means plural science if we do it in North and South Poles. I know we're going to get the southern ice shelf for sure. Anyway, how difficult is it going to be to go south? You know, not very difficult if we just go down. So when we take off, if we aim to the other hangar on the island, and we just go past it, we'll be aiming towards the southern pole. So let's collect all this. Start our next flight. I wonder if there's a shortcut to just go to the runway and load our last vehicle. What was that button for? I guess if you want to temporarily start at a different launch site. No idea. Anyway, we are going to go... Oh, we actually don't want to go to the island. We want to go to the right of the island. Okay. Full throttle. Turn the lights on for later. And turn on the engines. And yes, it is still bothering me that I can't hear the engines like you guys can. No one's complained about it being too loud, so I'm going to assume that it's not too loud. And we can take off now. So I said we want to go this way. To the right of the islands. Now I'm 100% sure that the 180 point here on the globe, on the bottom, should be south. Or that's west. Because 90 is east. So we might not be going the right way, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, we're going down here. It's going to be a long, long ride without any landmarks to see how close we are. So we are going to have... just the right on this screen. And I want to be able to see the globe at a different angle, and I don't know how to turn this the way that I'm trying to get it to. That's close, but I kind of want it rotated. Oh, I'm getting closer to what I'm trying to do. I don't think I can see the arch going like this. I think it's always angled a way that I don't want it. Anyway, are we facing south? With the direction that we are extending, ignore the blue line. Direction we're going, it looks like we're going south. Alright, so all we're doing, so we're going way down here. This flat areas biome, this might be another biome. We have no idea yet. I should also put us on the fastest speed. Now that does pull us downward, so I have to keep pulling up. Should probably do it in this view so that I can right ourselves. Because we're going to bob back and forth, and I'm going up too much. Can we go a little to the right? There we go. Now, if I can stay right here on this line, I would be happy with that. But super fast speed pulls us down quite a bit. If I just focus on our ball down there, we should be able to see just how we are flying. If I press M, we'll stay in this screen, and I can still control the ball. Can't see our height, though, so let's turn on this, so we can see our highest point. Trying to get us back on point. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is keep holding up so we don't fall too far down. For those who are new to the stream, we are going to bob up and down as we get to the highest point, and then we run out of air for the wings to work. So we fall down a little bit, and then once we get enough atmosphere, we climb back up. But in the meantime, we're just going to follow our little guy as he goes further south. Luckily, we are staying within the sun, so we won't be in the dark the entire time we're going there. And by the time we get there, we'll probably be close to ending our stream for today. Because we have 30 minutes to the minimum time that I like to stream for. What's this button do up here? Oh, warp to sunrise. I only just now noticed that. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the globe. I guess 180 is... We were about to do a barrel roll. I guess 180 is the southern direction. What is going on? Landing gears being up might help. Welcome in, first-time chatter. Thank you for using the command to tell us that we're in Chapter 3. I was pressing the wrong button. I was trying to climb up earlier. I was going down instead of up. So since you're a new time person, in this channel we do streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday where we are playing a selection of games in an order that is like mankind's progression in technology. So right now we're in Chapter 3, which is space travel, or rocket journey. And it's all games about traveling through space. So we have Kerbal Space Program. We're going to be doing Infraspace, which is pretty much a game making a colony on Mars. And then we're going to end this chapter with Oxygen Not Included, which is going to be the largest portion of this chapter. And it's also what a few people were looking forward to the most. Okay. Now that I have the plane at a decent spot, we can go back to this screen. What's this do? Comm network. Verbal strength to the planet is very strong. We don't have any flags. We have one lander on Minmus. Don't know what those 9 things are. We have 6 satellites. What is... Oh, that's the question marks that are further out of our orbital system here. Kerbin's SOI. It might be. There's question marks in space for us to do science at. Are we almost there? We are actually not traveling where I want us to be. So if I just put us on the 225 heading, do we end up going closer to the pole? Is there a way that I can see the way that the ship is going? No, I'm stuck looking at this way. Alright. I want to say we're about halfway. I also don't like that I have to keep rotating the ship every now and then. Can I see any land here? No, I cannot. Even when I zoom out, I still can't see any land. Alright. Let's go back into this view then, since we can't see anything. If I stay in this angle, should be able to see how close we get to the planet, or to the pole. It may be time to go back to the 180-degree turn. Coded, when does your stream wrap? We have plans. In about a half hour. Are your plans the same as Glow's plans? Yeah, it's the same as Glow's plans. I will be joining in with Glow if he's doing this, or she's doing the same thing as you. I'm just hoping that we get to this before the next half hour. We are still fast forwarding. Alright, let's go back to the 180 degree. I'm just slowly going over to it, because we're rotating for some reason. Oh, is this the globe rotating while we're flying? So our angle of our plane isn't changing, but the globe is spinning within the plane. That makes sense to me. So I have to keep adjusting for the globe spinning. Which is why when we were going to the North Pole, we were spinning to the right. Right now we're spinning to the left. The world doesn't stop turning just because you're in orbit, Coded. Yeah, I didn't say it does. I just thought it was the plane itself was tilting constantly as I'm flying in fast forward. But it makes more sense that it's the globe that's spinning. Because we're getting a stronger spin the closer we get to the pole. You didn't say it does, but you seemed awfully surprised to notice it. I was noticing. Geosynchronous orbit is a whole different thing. Alright, we should be getting close to being able to see the ice shelf soon. I don't know if we're close enough right now to see it. If I stop right here and we take a look. Yeah, we still can't see it yet. But if we just keep going this way, we will eventually see it. Even if I zoom out, I don't think I'll be able to see it yet. Oh, I can! Look at that! Well, so we're getting there. With how close we are right now, I can guarantee that we're going to be able to get our science. And then we might end stream a little bit early. Depends on how much time it takes us to do the science in this area. I am going to get over here, go a little bit closer to the land in height-wise, and then we're going to fly closer to the biome right here, so we're not too far away from both biomes. Unlike when we did the northern pole, we had to go quite a distance to get to it. And if we were not in fast forward, we would be sitting here for an hour almost. How close are we? Are we close enough to see it from the plane? Yes, we are. And we want to aim for those peaks over to the left. So let's start turning over to it. Alright, so it looks like 135 is the correct angle that we're going to go for. Maybe not. We're actually turning quite more than we need. No, it is. We were just rotating. Oh, we got all the way up to 13 kilometers. I didn't know we could make it that high before we lost atmosphere. That's pretty cool. Alright, from this point, I think we can just cruise at the horizontal point. So if I just stay here, we're going to slow down speed so that we're not dropping as quickly as we are. I'm going to pull us a little bit closer to 135 on the dot. There we go. We'll stay on prograde for a little bit. We are still going up. We're just not going as fast because we're not fast forwarding. But at least now we shouldn't be dropping anymore. And now we just hit the hour mark of this flight. How many hours? Never mind, I already answered that question in my head. There's 6 hours in a Kerbal day. So yeah, if we spent 6 hours IRL time going around the globe, we would spend 1 day just flying. Okay, we should be at the point where I can put the landing gears out and cut our engines completely. And then we are just going to glide closer to this biome. So let's do land here. We can see how high we are against this. This should be 1 meter above sea level. Trying to keep us on the horizontal line, but I don't think it's going to work out. They have to pull prograde up. Or just keep pulling up. Alright, that's a little odd. I'll stay on prograde for right now. We are quite high up. We should be getting our supersonic speed change at around 4 kilometers, I think. Or it's a little bit later than that. Lower, I mean, not later. I'm going to apply the brakes now, even though they're not going to do anything for a while. How far away will we land if we keep going like that? From this biome, I mean. We are dropping quicker than we're getting over to this area, so I think we're going to land roughly here. Actually, if I take a look at this, we'll be able to see exactly where. This is actually moving along with it, so I can't tell. I speed this up, actually. It's taking a little too long. Let's get us facing a little bit to the left. But I have a feeling we're going too close to that little hill. I just get us down right at 4,000. That is when we start getting our supersonic speed changes there. Alright, now that we are closer to the ground. Now I'm going to cut the engines. And if I just keep pulling up every now and then, we should slow down. Trying to get us closer to the ground before we start pulling up. There we go. Should be able to land easily without any issues. Okay, we're getting pretty close. Should be losing air now. There we go. We landed, we just gotta slow down to a stop so that we can get the signs from here. Because it should still count as being the ice shelf, because we're not on this hilly area. If I pull up, we should slow down even faster. So anyway, while we go into a complete stop, let's do number 1. Kerbin's ice caps. Okay, so that is one bomb, and we are also too close to the ice cap. So in the meantime, I'm going to press 2. We're going to do our EVA from here. And then we're going to drive further away. By the way, I hope you don't mind me doing some advertising here. Are you up for Goose Goose Duck in about 15 minutes? Ah, yeah, I don't mind. EVA. Obviously, we don't get anything from here because we did an EVA from here before. Right. Get back in, press 2, press 3, EVA, restore, restore, get back in, brakes off, a little bit of speed so we can turn around, pretty much go out the way we came in. I have no idea how far out we have to go. I just know it's gotta be far enough. Let's just take off a little bit. No, keep going up. I feel like this would be faster than driving across the ground. bit of a hard touchdown. Right. Got the engines. This should be far enough out. Maybe not. Let's keep going with the speed that we have. The inertia we have, I mean. I really want to just, like, take the landing gears off and just slide across it like a sled. But I know the last time we did that, things exploded. Alright, that's definitely far enough away. I start turning now, we should lose a lot more speed. So we crawl to a halt. Now this should 100% be the last biome. Southern Ice Shelf, for sure it is the last biome. So, let's get a person outside. But it exploded in a cool way. It did explode in a cool way. I wasn't even going that fast when we tried it before. Or was I? Maybe that's why it exploded. You collect a sample of the surface. That is such a weak description of what just happened. We had some cool looking ones, where it was very descriptive of what it was picking up. Like the Badlands. That was a cool surface sample thing. Collect everything into the box. And then all we're going to do is recover vessel. And this will give us enough science to get the last piece of our science. Because we have more than 160. If we go in here, we want this one. So now we have bigger pods. We have bigger heat shields. That's the thing probably should be concerned about. That looks like goo. Okay. The new landing gears, new parachute. There's the heat shield that I'm probably going to need. And this holds a 3 crew capacity. We've needed this for quite a while, I think. Lander can, service bay. Oh, it rearranged where everything was. Okay. I am also excited for nuclear propulsion. That's going to help us a lot later on. But anyway, what we are going to do in the next stream on Monday is we are going to create a rocket. I'm going to turn off the music so you guys can hear me a little bit better. We are going to create a rocket that both has a lander and a drivable rover so that we can land both of them on Mun. We're going to always leave the rover on Mun. It's never going to come back with us. But we want to use the Land Rover so that we can go to different biomes in Mun. Or on Mun. And then we'll try to do the same thing a lot later on for Minmus. Get all their biomes. At some point within that portion, we should have a space station completed. So that we can get bigger science. And I think that's it, aside from doing the Duna stuff. The 2 things. The communication satellite around it, like we've done around Kerbin and Minmus. And then, of course, our final rocket launch going to Duna. So let me update the to-do list. And then we will take our screenshot, which is what you guys are looking at right now. That's why I went back into science. since we accomplished getting 3 signs this episode, we might as well have that as the YouTube thumbnail later on. This is not what I wanted to be clicking on. That's what I want to click. Because we did the 3rd thing on the to-do list. So chat is going to go away as I click save. But now you can see the to-do list is now updated. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. EST to 12:30 p.m. EST, and on Sundays from 10 a.m. EST to 2 p.m. EST.